Jacques Smith, 46, of Cleveland Heights, passed away today from an aggressive form of liver disease. A devoted father, loving husband, son, brother, and advocate, Jacques was known for his never-ending laughter, love of life, and community. This was never printed because I received a liver transplant on March 2nd, 2018.
This is a podcast presented by the Ohio Laborers Union to keep you connected to your labor family. This is Down with the Dig.
Hi, I'm Shella Rupa. Today on the show, we're going to hear the inspirational story of how the Laborers Union helped Louis Font, a field coordinator for the District 8 Regional Organizing Committee, grow from a troubled youth to the man he is today. Hi, Louis, and welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Shella. Thanks for having me, and thank you to you and your staff.
Louis, it's nice to have you here with us today, and start telling us about how it was growing up.
Well, Shella, growing up, I guess, I grew up living a normal life, city life, till a certain age. Ended up hanging out, with the wrong crowd, the guys on the corner and stuff, and ended up not paying a lot of attention or time in school, and one thing led to another, and was in and out of the system as a young kid, a juvenile, and eventually ended up getting incarcerated as an adult.
When you hear the term hard knocks life, that's really something that you lived. And as you said, you were young when you first started to get into trouble. How old were you?
I was 11, 12 years old, probably.
What was going through your head that first time you were put in the back of that car?
I didn't know if the guys I had the issue with were going to be as hard on me as my father was when I got home.
What were your parents' reactions when they found out you had been picked up by the police? So
my parents kind of already had an idea that I was headed down in the wrong direction.
Well, was this more out of survival? Did you think this was fun? I mean, how did you look at what was going on?
Well, the first time I got in trouble, I got bullied. Older guys in the neighborhood, I ended up throwing some rocks at them or whatever, and unfortunately I missed the guys and hit the windows of the house that was there, and those folks ended up calling the police, and that's how that ended up starting. So definitely when I started hanging out with quote unquote the guys on the corner. Mm-hmm. And the guys, the neighborhood affiliated guys.
What does affiliated mean?
The neighborhood local gang chapter.
Did you voluntarily get mixed up with the gang, or was this something? Did you feel forced into that, or?
No, I definitely did not feel forced. It was for lack of a better term, it was evolution. It was the next step. It was part of the process, part of what we did, Did you feel like being in a gang, it was more for protection, or like they were kind of like a family to you? I think the family stuff sometimes gets a little overblown. It definitely wasn't like a family. It was, just, real tight knit group of guys, like brothers. So it was more like that. And then, of course, 10 guys approach you from a different neighborhood. What do? You find another 10 guys that are capable of approaching those same guys and challenging those folks in return. So that's how I think I ended up getting sucked into that.
Did you feel at any point that you were disappointing your family?
Oh, in those days, no. I did. I knew it, but I didn't care. Being honest, I didn't really care about how they felt. Typical young man, I'm living my life. Don't tell me how to live my life. I know what I'm doing, etc., so on and so forth.
So, Louis, was there any one incident that happened that light bulb went off and you decided this was not the life for you?
I don't think, Shell, I decided to change my life until I was 23, 24 years of age. One incident that changed my life around was the birth of my son.
So while you were in prison, though, and you were so young, I mean, what were your thoughts in there? Because I would think going from the juvenile system to being an adult, I mean, what was that like?
The first few years, again, I was still living that lifestyle. I don't think, Shell, I decided to change my life until I was 23, 24 years of age. And that still was a slow process. But in the penitentiary, same thing. I was clipped up, basically doing the exact same things that we did on the street, but, doing them in a confined space, as we like to say in the labor movement.
Right. So once your son was born, was it an immediate change for you, or did it take you time?
I want to say it was an immediate change emotionally. Mentally, it took a while. Yeah, it took a few more years after that. I needed to. I still, jammed myself up a couple more times after Lewis was born. So again, my brother gave me, he turned on that light bulb, and he gave me an opportunity to kind of get out of the old neighborhood and the environment that I had been in all my life. And that's what I decided to do. And that's where things really started to take a positive turn for me and my family.
So at that point, you moved from the area you lived in, which, if I'm correct, that was the Miami area?
Yep, yes, ma'am. Yep.
Okay.
Born and raised.
And you moved to, was it Venice?
Over to the west coast of Florida, Venice, Florida, Sarasota County. And that was kind of, a whole different, it was just like a culture shock almost for me.
Oh, I'm sure it was. So at that point, you've gotten out of prison, you've had your son, you've decided to get out of Miami, you want to be in a better spot. When did the laborers union come into play?
I think I was 27, 28 years of age. I had been working for waste management when I moved over to the Venice, just to make ends meet and to keep me busy and keep me, again, focused. At the time, I had 3 different jobs, and one of them, my main source of income and benefits was my family's benefits at that time, because it was still a young family. Was Waste Management was my employer. I was a garbage man on the back of the truck running routes here in Sarasota County, and there were some changes, and that's what kind of some of the guys decided to that we needed to organize our own union within our workplace, and because of the changes that were being forced, drastic changes that were being forced upon us. And that's kind of where my affiliation or my first involvement with LIUNA came about.
What did that mean to your family?
At first, we were kind of worried. Of course, it's a change. Right. It's a break in the norm. But for my family, it was something that we discussed and we decided that we were going to go ahead with, and we knew that it was the best opportunity for somebody like me to make a better life for myself and my family, and we went full blown with an organizing campaign, and we organized our employer, and I was involved with the organizing campaign and the first contract negotiations, and we were able to get a first contract.
So did you realize at that time how big of an impact that joining the laborers would make on your life? None
whatsoever. I thought I was, just, holding it down from not only myself, but for the other 60 or so employees that I worked with.
So I know that the laborers, they're always involved in the community and, just trying to help those that are struggling. And so I'm sure for you, you've got some personal stories about maybe some friends or some family members that you yourself were able to help and show them what the laborers union was about. Oh,
yeah. As far as being involved with the community, everybody in my department, we're all community organizers. That's what we do. That's one of our titles. So we're constantly engaging and involved with our community because that's where our members come from. That's where we come from. We're all members of this union, and we all, one way or another, we're out in the field to a certain extent. So we're constantly engaged with our community on numerous levels. If it could, from different organizations, community activism to political campaigns. Got a handful of success stories, such as myself. One of my buddies, again, Shella, you know the story. I grew up with a kid about the same age. I think maybe a year before, I ended up getting direct filed. He got direct filed. He was tried, convicted of first-degree murder. Oh, and again, it was gang related. He served almost 30 years in prison. Very little, I guess, education or skill set when he was released. But he was humbled and he was ready to make a positive change in his life. And we were able to get him a job with one of our signatory contractors.
Can you tell me a little more about your success as an organizer?
The one I'm most proud of was the first campaign I ever worked on, which was a concrete shell contractor in Southeast Florida. And that was my first campaign as a fresh young organizer. And we were successful in winning that organizing campaign 45-0. And wow. We're able to again negotiate a first contract and be able to get a group of folks and individuals, the health coverage and the benefits and the training that they so deserved and needed. We've had a ton of successes.
That's great. Now, looking at you now and thinking about where you came from, what goals do you have for your future?
Goals for the future, it's hard to really set them when I'm surrounded by such a large group of folks that I feel are a whole lot more talented, smarter than I am. My main goal, Shella, of course, is to provide for my family. Not only my son, who's an adult now, but I do have older parents and who are starting to show signs of old age. And so as long as I'm able to provide for them, as long as I'm able to be a productive member of society, as long as I'm able to help promote the labor movement and this union and this organization that has given so much to me and given me the opportunity to give back to the community, I think for me that would be the ultimate goal.
If you had a few words of wisdom, what would those be?
Keep your mouth closed, keep your eyes and ears open. Try to get to know the old timers within this organization. Listen to what they have to say. Pay attention when you go to training. Get as much training and education as possible. If it's construction education or training or organizing or politics or whatever else that IUNA offers as far as a training opportunity or education opportunity, I think that would be the one thing I would recommend everybody take advantage of that IUNA does offer.
Yeah, the training is really, it's like super. I don't think we're matched by anyone when it comes to that.
I agree.
Well, Lewis, I just thank you so much for being here and for sharing your story. And it's just important for everybody to know that, you don't always have to come from this perfect life and make all the right decisions, but, you work hard and have people support you like the Laborers Union. You can do great things.
No doubt. I'm living proof of that, Shella. There's, I've met folks that come from different neighborhoods than I did and grew up with different friends than I did. And you know what? We're best of friends right now, besides, brothers in arms and members of the Laborers International Union. And there's no doubt in my mind that if it wasn't for the labor movement and for LIUNA, that couldn't be possible.
Well, thanks again, Lewis, and it was so good to see you. And I'm sure we'll have you back, and you'll be giving us some more updates and just telling us some more about the great things you're doing.
No doubt. And again, shout out to you and your staff and the folks involved with being able to produce this and put it out there. It's a great opportunity, and it's a great thing that you guys are doing. I've heard a lot of buzz, and that's why I was definitely happy when I got the nod to be able to be a guest on the show. So thank you very much, and keep up the good work.
Thank you. It's stories like these that solidify the fact that we're not just a union, we're a family. If you enjoyed the podcast today, just go to downwiththedig.com. Remember to share us with your friends, and we'll see you next time. I'm Shella Rupa.
Well, now you're up to date. Views and comments expressed on this podcast may not be those of Ohio Labor's District Council or LIUNA. Thanks for listening, and let's be careful out there.